welcome back to WORM News. I'm your host, Skyler Quigley. Today, we at Worm News bring a case study done by one of our junior reporters about how history always seems to repeat itself. We go now to our reporter in the field. Thanks so much, Skyler. Now, let me set the scene for you. You know something's wrong, but the whole world is trying to keep you quiet. What would you do? That very question was posed to one John Barnett back in 2021. Today's story follows the untimely death of Boeing whistleblower John Barnett and the historical connection that shows history is destined to repeat itself. Tell me more. Well, he had worked at Boeing for some 32 years, quality control. Now, John cared a lot about his job. He felt that the responsibility for the safety of the passengers on these Boeing planes was partially on him. So, naturally, when he noticed some safety issues, he began reporting them. Pretty major issues, like 25% of oxygen masks not deploying during tests, and defective parts being lost during the production process. All this according to a report that he gave to OSHA in 2017. Initially, his reports were ignored, but according to a report done by neighboring broadcasting station NPR, managers and higher-ups quickly began pressuring him not to report any more safety concerns. That sounds serious. Tell me though, how is this about history being destined to repeat itself? Well, do you like to read, Mr. Quigley? On occasion. I read on occasion. Why? Well, I recently finished reading The Crucible by Arthur Miller, and I could not help but notice the similarities between the book I was reading and the story of John Barnett. Salem in 1962 was a town ridden with paranoia and false accusations. The legal practice at the time encouraged people to speak out against witches, but in reality was a system that forced people to lie in order to protect the dignity of the court rather than the dignity of the accused. This same principle can be seen in the 2024 case of John Barnett, a whistleblower who took his own life after being harassed by the very company that told him to raise concerns. John was being harassed? Very much so. An email that he sent in 2024 reads, "What I am struggling with is, how do you repair or restore a person's overall outlook on life? I used to be a very happy-go-lucky guy that loved his job, his company, and the products they built. I had a very positive outlook, but Boeing has absolutely destroyed my outlook on life. I often sit here and think, what's the use? What's the point of life?" Later, John's mother even filed a claim stating, "Boeing may not have pulled the trigger, but Boeing's conduct was the clear cause and the clear foreseeable cause of John's death." How does this relate to the Crucible? Well, in Act 2, John Proctor is arguing with Reverend Hale about the confessions of the accused. When Hale states that the accused women have pled guilty, John Proctor replies, "And why not, if they must hang for denying it? There are them that will swear to anything before they'll hang. Have you not thought of that?" In this play, John Proctor is one of only a few people who deny the validity of the Salem witch trials, but until this moment had not gone to bat for his ideals. And the connection to John Barnett? Well, this is a clear connection to the policies in place at Boeing. The false act portrayed by Boeing that they encourage employees to call them out for making mistakes is reflected in the Crucible by the actions taken by the court. While the court in the Crucible claims to be seeking the truth, their system is designed to punish people who spoke out and save the people who lied in favor of the court's rulings. Wow, that certainly is a strong connection. Later on in the Crucible, page 95 to be exact, John Proctor speaks up against the court. This is the beginning of the strongest parallel to the real-life story of John Barnett. This lines up with Barnett's filing of a whistleblower report to OSHA. Later on in the Crucible, on page 119, Proctor is accused of witchcraft himself as a result of speaking out. This lines up with the aftermath of John Barnett filing his claims, the intense hate campaign he received in response. Go on. At the end of the book, Proctor is put to death for witchcraft, a direct result of him speaking out against the court rulings. Following the constant harassment by Boeing in response to his claims, John Barnett tragically took his own life in 2024. History is destined to repeat itself, a concept that can be seen when comparing the events detailed in Arthur Miller's The Crucible and the modern events of John Barnett's fallout with Boeing. Understanding this cycle is the only way to put it to a stop. People in power will abuse it as long as the people being abused allow them to. Thank you for having me, Skyler. Well, thanks for coming on. That was wonderful reporting done by our newest junior field reporter. Stay tuned for our next story by Senior Executive Cole Fitzpatrick titled, "Why is abbreviated such a long word?" More on that after this ad break.